What's up, guys and gals? I'm going to be talking about Demonology Warlock in PvP, specifically arenas. But I've used this build in Battlegrounds too, so it's not too bad. So first, I'm going to go over the gear and stat priority for that, right? So pretty much every piece is going to be haste versatility. Every single piece. Now, if you've seen my Demon Hunter video, my guy's like fully geared. So bear with me because this is an alt character, but I do like playing Warlock too, especially with the recent buffs that they've gotten. But without, any extra on that, like I said, haste versatility on every piece. And then obviously your trinket bonus too. Just going for haste. I think the other trinket, I can't remember what the other trinket has. But haste first on everything. Cannot stress that enough. And then your enchants on your neck. Haste verse, haste verse, haste verse. These three enchants. On the cloak, homebound speed, waking stats on the chest, 200 speed on the cuffs, wafting devotion on the staff. Don't ask me what it does, I already forgot because it's been a while, but I know it's meta. Look at the PvP leaderboards. Intellect stamina, this isn't the best in slot enchant, it's just because like this, I'm gonna eventually replace this piece of gear with the Crimson version of it, or the Drakebreaker version of it. So I just kind of cheat that on the enchant, but you want to get the max enchant for this, the intellect stamina. Planesrunner Breeze on the boots, haste and haste on the rings, and that's your enchants. The reason why, if you already didn't know, Planesrunner Breeze and then speed on the cuffs, cuffs, cloak, and boots is because this character's slow, and melee will try to train you if you give them the opportunity, so as much speed as possible is better over like something like Leech for like a Demon Hunter. So next I'm going to be going over the talents. So this is going to be your talent tree. Basic talent build, it's going to be the Nether Portal build, as some people call it, I guess. So I'm not going to go through and explain every single thing because I don't want to waste your guys' time. If you want to read each individual one on your own, feel free to set this up on your Warlock and then go and read it individually. But what I do recommend is just pausing the video here or taking a screenshot on your own time and then just copying this build because we're going to go from this right into the rotation. For your PvP talents, we're going to be running Callfell Hunter as a kick, Master Summoner for instant cast on Dreadstalkers, and Fell Obelisk, and that'll come in handy as part of the rotation. It ups the cast time, or the DPS time of the demons, which is important to do most of your damage, if not all of your damage. Because the more DPS and damage your demons do, the more damage you do overall, because your pets do all the damage. So going into rotation slash mindset when you're in PvP, it's all about buffing your Demonic Tyrant and your Nether Portal and having your Fell Obelisk drop, and then just letting your pets go absolutely crazy. So I'm going to go through this slow enough for you to understand. So if I'm not maxing the DPS meter on video, this is more just showing you slowly the rotation, and then you get quicker and quicker and quicker. Typically when I'm learning a new class, I sit in front of a dummy, watch a video or two, make tweaks that I think would be better. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. That's just the trial and error method. But sit and slowly get quicker and quicker and quicker at the rotation. Then I jump into Battlegrounds, or I'll jump specifically now. I do solo shuffle, and then if I feel like I'm good enough to take it into threes, which sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. It just depends. Then I go in with it. But practice in front of the dummy has been a lifesaver for all my other classes, and so without further ado. So start with Soul Strike to build your shard, and then send doggies, and then open your portal, and then keep your dooms up. Now typically this is dooms on your kill targets, and dooms on your other targets because it grants shards. Drop Obelisk, summon Tyrant, and then just dump Hands of Gul'dans. Dump them, build and dump, doggies off cooldown, build and dump, keep Doom up, and then just keep dumping, and then you just let the pets go crazy. And rinse and repeat from there. And that's your big damage. From here, though, is building your shards, keeping your Dooms up, stunning, doing the things you need to do. Doggies off cooldown, you get the proc for shards, Hand of Gul'dan, proc for shards, Hand of Gul'dan. And then you just fill from there until your Tyrant comes off cooldown, and then you just do your big damage again. And that's the entire rotation. Last thing I want to touch on here now is your defensives, right? So your main things that every warlock that you've already seen, or while you're playing a warlock that you're gonna see, is they're gonna come in and they're gonna cast their soul burn. They're gonna spend a shard to do that. Set up their gateway. I'm failing to set up the gateway. Can't use it here. Okay, well, never mind me then. Set up your gateway, set up your teleport, and you're going to be trading those as movements, and you got to keep in mind, like, it comes down to how the fight's going. There's no, like, single method to that, right? So, if I'm over here, right, theoretically, and I'm getting ran through, I typically trade my teleport first because it's a 30-second cooldown, right? And then if I'm really getting smoked and I need to get out of there, then I hit my little gateway. But right before I hit my gateway, I pop Dark Pact, and I'll trade both of those at the same time. Dark Pact comes back every, 45 seconds. If I blow through my movements and my Dark Pact and they're still sitting on me, then I Mortal Coil, and then it fears them. And then I usually follow that up with a fear as soon as Mortal Coil goes away to get the maximum distance. And then I'll typically run somewhere else in the arena, come over here, blah, 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 set a different portal. Make sure you're resetting your ports as necessary. Don't forget about that, because the less movement you have, they will, like, the melee guys or your opponents are going to pick up on that, and they're going to train you into the dirt. It's happened to me before, and it's something I'm still picking up on. So you have to do all of that while keeping your rotation and keeping your DPS up and keeping that pressure with your Dooms and, like we talked about before with your Demonic Tyrant, and letting your pets do the work, and then also keeping yourself alive. The last thing that I can really say that would be a defensive would be your Unending Resolve, which, reduces the amount of damage that you take by 40%. And it also grants you immunity to interrupts as well. Um, but with that, play around with this. Let me know in the comments what you think, what could be tweaked, what you guys have found out. All of that feedback, good or bad, helps. And hope to see you next time.